Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale trusts as well as NVIDIA earnings. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go over here is the whole Fed talk. I've heard a lot about the Fed talking about, we might pause rates in December. Guys, I'm pretty sure they're not going to pause rates, okay? They know Trump's coming. They know he wants low rates. I don't think I need to say much more about that. Besides, you guys may not be aware of this, but the Fed's rhetoric tends to have a certain effect on the markets. Okay, when the Feds want to pull the markets back, they usually talk the markets down by saying something hawkish. When they want to pump the markets, they'll come out and pump them by saying something dovish. Okay, or when they want to walk the markets up, they usually say something dovish. Believe it or not, I'm pretty confident that this is actually done intentionally. Most people don't realize it, but yes, this is kind of the way the Fed does things. They are, like like to refer to them as the ultimate market makers. Okay, so they're saying that they may pause rates. Do I think they're going to pause them? No, I think that's BS. Okay, I'm probably one of the few people that's coming out and saying that's a bunch of nonsense. I don't think it's going to happen. But the Feds do have a very real effect on the markets, whether people believe it or not. Okay, so let's get into NVIDIA earnings, and then we'll go over the trusts. And just so you guys know, I think I've already said this, but if you guys want to sign up for a membership to get early access to the content, it's $25 a month. You just go ahead and hit the join button below the video. If you cannot find it, maybe look up a tutorial or something to check it out to be able to find out where it is. Okay, so let's get into NVIDIA. Just got to give it a second to load. For some reason, Robinhood takes eons. Okay, so there was some crazy whipsaw volatility here. Okay, so we had the stock went up into earnings, then it kind of fell off a cliff, and then it's recovered, then it's fell off a cliff a little bit. Look, I can tell you guys right now, based on NVIDIA earnings, there's a few things to look out for. Number one, I think investors' expectations about NVIDIA are they're being a little bit unrealistic. I mean, they beat earnings and their forward guidance was very good. Okay. But these guys were expecting some kind of eye-popping numbers. I mean, you got to realize the Fed funds rate is still. These people need to realize that the Fed funds rate is still not at zero. When it's at zero, it will be a lot more bullish. The fact that Nvidia's earnings was even this good, given the circumstances, I would say is reason to celebrate. I don't think these people are really giving NVIDIA a fair shot here, if I'm being completely honest. Plus, let's just look at this real quick, okay? So we got a flip zone here, okay? What does this mean? NVIDIA is probably going to go higher. Okay, I told you guys that the Fed was talking the markets down. Markets just recently got oversold on the 4-hourly time frame. We got a flip zone here on NVIDIA. Do I think it's going to go lower? No. Do I think it's overbought? No. Okay, so you can see the indicators got walked back here. RSI pulling back, MACD pulling back, but the price kind of went sideways. That's known as a pullback in time. And based on all this, I think NVIDIA will likely climb. May even start as soon as tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so it says NVIDIA nearly doubles revenue on strong AI demand. Like I told you guys, the Mag 7 has the strongest pricing power in the entire market because they are trillion-dollar companies. In my opinion, it does not matter how much the Fed raises rates or how long they choose to hold them at highs. The Mag 7 will likely come out of that mostly untouched, okay? And we're seeing the effects of that play out in real time here. So it says they beat third quarter earnings, beat expectations for sales and earnings while delivering a better than expected forecast. So the guidance was good. That was bullish, and the earnings themselves were bullish. Revenue continues to surge, and NVIDIA rising 94% on an annual basis, which is huge. And then, of course, you had the earnings call and all that jazz. So revenue beat basically about $2 billion versus expectations, and then the earnings per share was a 6-cent beat versus expectations. So here's kind of where I think investors are getting hung up. Okay. So it says NVIDIA rising 94% on an annual basis, during the quarter for October 27. Still a consecutive slowdown from the previous 3 quarters when sales rose 122%, 262%, 265% respectively. there's a couple of things about this, okay? Number one is the market breadth, okay? When market breadth takes place, meaning the other 493 stocks in the S&P or the rest of the NASDAQ stocks gain strength and they go up in value, it does pull back a little bit from the Mag 7, but in my opinion, the Mag 7 are still likely going to go up massively regardless of market breadth or not, because again, Mag 7, most people have that as a staple in their portfolio. Okay, a lot of investors place a huge stake of their portfolio, especially rich investors, in things like Tesla or Apple or NVDA. Like Nancy Pelosi, for example, has a huge NVIDIA position last time I checked. Okay. And obviously, you guys know she's worth like 9 figures, right? Her and her husband. So, need I say more about this? But the other thing is, too, is that you guys got to understand something about NVIDIA, okay? The AI theme narrative is going to play out over time. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, tomorrow all of a sudden everything in society is going to be run by AI. That's not going to happen, okay? Anybody that thinks that is unrealistic, they have a very short-term mindset. They need to reconsider their position here, because the AI narrative is like a 5 to 10, maybe even a 20-year time horizon, okay? So which means NVIDIA has a long, long ways to grow and to go up, okay? I'm just going to tell you guys how bullish I am on NVIDIA. It would not surprise me if by the end of Q1 of next year, NVIDIA was at $200 per share post stock split. Yes, you heard that correctly. So, NVIDIA earnings, in my opinion, were good. I think that the market is kind of not giving NVIDIA its due, and their expectations are way too high, all things considered. And I would basically chalk it up as a win. Okay, so next video we're going to go over altcoins. Let's go over LTCN BCHG. So a little bit of a pullback here. I've showed you guys this pattern before. It kind of did this up and chop sideways thing before ripping. Eventually we're probably going to get a rip here. It's just a question of when it's going to happen. I would say patience is probably key here. So buy zones 1280 to 15, at least until we get a confirmation above the EMAs here. Targets 25 to 54. I am going to go over the native all positions with you guys in the next video. So 315% gain here. BCHG, a little bit of chop. I would say anywhere between 630 to probably about 770 would be a good buy zone. You guys got to remember, these things were pennies on the dollar back during the bear market lows, but they're still massively off the all-time highs, okay? LTCN's all-time high is at $510, not $5.10, okay? And BCHG's at $60, whereas the current price is at $750. So 1030 to about 24 is going to be the targets here. Again, you guys gotta, think about this in context. A lot of the altcoins that we even have barely even moved. Okay, they're still like 80, 90% off all-time highs. That's exactly when we want to be positioned in these trades. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you guys an example right now. So let's take a look at the comparison here with Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash. See if I can measure it. Roughly about 86% off all-time highs. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this, but you guys are going to see my point here. So LTCN, as of right now, is roughly about 97% off all-time highs. I'm going to show you guys a couple of the biggest positions we have in the native space. Filecoin, for example, need I say more? Filecoin's all-time high, down to the current price. Let's see if I can actually get this relatively accurate. About 98% off all-time highs. Again, all season hasn't happened, so are we really surprised this hasn't moved yet? Not really. It's kind of par for the course. Honestly, Horizon, another good example. Currently sitting at $850. The all-time high was like $140, so currently down about 94%. If I take a look at Bitcoin, where is Bitcoin? Literally at all-time highs, okay? What about Ethereum? Oh, okay, let's take a look at Ethereum here. Where's Ethereum at? Well, it's definitely not at all-time highs, is it? Down 37% from previous market or previous cycle all-time highs. So I don't think I should need to say more about this. I mean, look, it's impossible to know exactly when these alts are going to start ripping, or the grayscale trusts, for the most part, are going to start ripping. You guys got to remember, every single one of these we're looking at technically is an altcoin. Okay, anything besides Ethereum is an altcoin, or besides Bitcoin, I mean. These are all altcoin related positions, so they may just wait to pop off until next year when we get the alt season, or not. Maybe it happens sooner. It's hard to say. Okay, so HZEN 340 to 420, 690 to 10.5 is targets here. That's what we're looking at. 200% gain. ETCG still looking very bullish. I'd say maybe a pullback into the EMAs, so 970 to 10.5 as the buy area, 1320 to about 20 and a quarter as the potential targets here. 103% gain. ETH, well, this hasn't flipped from resistance into support yet, but we are above the EMA, so maybe somewhere around the bottom of this range would be a buy area, $23. And then 28.30 to as high as 53 would be the target there, so maybe as much as 125% here. GBAT, buy zone still sitting at 460 to 540, targets $8 to 32. About 625% gain here. PhilG, nice little 2% gain, not bad. I jest, but of course, I know you guys are probably pissed off they haven't moved yet. Well, guess what? We have a lot of positions that haven't moved yet too, so kind of in the same boat here, right? So 35 to 43 for support here. Target going to be roughly about $400. About an 815% gain. GLIV, I'd say anywhere between the top of the support to the bottom of resistance here. So 740 to about, I'd say 13 could be your kind of buy targets there. $80 is going to be the sell. It would be the sell target for me in this case. 1,030%. I mean, of course, once it gets past all-time highs, I mean, sky's the limit. There's no telling just how far it could go. Okay, so I'd say the same thing with G-Link, 44 to about 63 as the buy area here, 86 to 220 as the targets. 360% gain. GSOL. Yikes. Okay, nice little pullback there. But I mean, hey, if you're a Solana bull, you don't care. You look exactly for this kind of thing, and you wanna get the coins as cheap as possible, right? Okay, so I would say anywhere between maybe 82 going to as high as 200 could be potential good buying areas. Do keep in mind a lot of these other trusts are actually much cheaper as of right now than these ones are. So about 300 to the all-time highs at 580 would be the targets. Maximum bullish case scenario here, about 630% gain. GXLM still looking very strong. I'm not surprised. I'd be looking for a pullback to right around maybe 28, maybe even as low as 23 to get a potential buy on this thing on the cheap. So 53 to about 70 as the targets. About 190% gain. It may not even go back to as far as the white line. I mean, usually when these gaps get filled, they tend to reverse pretty quick and start marching in the direction they were going. In this case, it would be up. So Mana, I'd say the buy zone is still going to be here around that $10 area. Targets 730 to, or 1730, sorry, to the all-time high at 70. 570% gain here at Zcash. Same thing, still in that huge buy range. So 3.25 to $6, and then 8 to about 1030 would be the target here. 220% gain. So I'll tell you guys like this. I think that the market's probably, including the Grayscale Trust, probably pulled back today based on the whole NVIDIA earnings thing. Now that NVIDIA is no longer a concern, I would say likely the market's probably going to climb. And the reason I'm saying this is because we had these crazy dumps into the open, okay? And then the market kind of stagnated and slowly climbed up and then closed green on the day, okay? Usually when a market dumps and then it reverses into the close, that's actually usually a bullish sign for the following trading day. Now, futures do trade overnight. That's true. But I'm not talking about the overnight session. I'm talking about the U.S. session, which basically is between 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to roughly about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Okay. All right. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.